Good evening and welcome to the Coon Rapids City Council meeting for Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. If you would please rise and join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Briscoviac.
Here.
Councilmember Rayrauer. Councilmember Novak.
Here.
Councilmember Geisler.
Here.
Councilmember Armstrong.
Here.
Councilmember Carlson.
Here.
Mayor Cook.
Here.
One absent, Rayrauer.
Thank you. All right, well, why don't we adopt this evening's agenda then?
Motion to adopt the agenda, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion by Carlson, second by Novak. Is there any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the agenda is adopted. And we are up to item one of our favorite things, Fire Department badge pinnings. Chief Piper.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Thank you for allowing me time in your agenda at tonight's council meeting to introduce our three newest career firefighters and recognize the promotion of a fire inspector. These four gentlemen have prepared themselves and worked hard to get to this point. As fire chief, it's always been my goal to hire people who have a strong sense of community involvement and who represent the core values of our organization and our mission statement. Our mission statement states that we are to provide efficient services designed to protect lives and property from the adverse effect of fires, medical emergencies, or exposure to dangerous conditions. We pursue this mission with determination and resolve, with emphasis on dedication, compassion, and constant improvement. All four of these individuals uphold our mission statement with the highest regard. Our three newest career firefighters come to us with years of experience. They have all three successfully completed the rigorous and demanding 6-month probationary period. Our newest fire inspector was promoted from career firefighter to B-shift fire inspector. Tonight, the three firefighters will take the oath of office and be sworn in as career firefighters by Mayor Cook. Their respective badges will also be pinned by their chosen family member. It is my pleasure to introduce you to our newest career firefighters. First, I'd like to introduce firefighter Chad Martin, badge number 87. Chad grew up in Mounds View and graduated from Irondale High School in 2005. He then attended Hennepin Technical College and graduated in 2008 with a degree in architectural drafting. He recently attended Columbia Southern University and graduated in 2022 with a bachelor's degree in fire administration. His fire education includes firefighter 1 and 2, fire apparatus operator, instructor 1 and 2, fire officer 1 and 2, local hazard zone management, and emergency medical technician. Chad has been married to Jessica for 7 years, and they have two wonderful children, Aiden, who's 5, and Bryce, who's 3. Chad has been in the fire service since 2009, starting as a volunteer member with SBM Fire Department, and has 12 years of experience as a full-time firefighter, filling various ranks and positions during that time. We will now have the formal pinning of Chad's badge number 87, followed by him swearing an oath of office performed by Mayor Cook. I would like you to introduce Chad's wife, Jessica, as the person he's selected to pin on his badge. Chad, congratulations and welcome to Coon Rapids Fire.
They're not, they got sick, so.
Oh, that's, well, then you've got a good excuse. Yeah, you got a good excuse then. All right, if you would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Chad Martin, do solemnly swear
I, Chad Martin, do solemnly swear
that I will support the policies and procedures
that I will support the policies and procedures
of the Coon Rapids Fire Department.
of the Coon Rapids Fire Department.
I will faithfully, honorably,
Go ahead.
I
I will faithfully and honorably,
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
protect the safety and lives
protect the safeties and lives
of my fellow firefighters and citizens
of my fellow firefighters and citizens
whose care has been entrusted to me,
whose care who has been entrusted to me,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Chad.
Next, I'd like to introduce firefighter Matt Hool, badge number 88. Matt Hool is a lifelong resident of Coon Rapids. He graduated from Coon Rapids High School in 2012. He was then hired by Anoka Champlain Fire Department, where he attended the Anoka County Fire Academy, class number 5, to obtain his firefighter 1 and 2 and hazmat certifications. During his 9 years with Anoka Champlain as a paid-on-call firefighter, he also obtained his ropes 1 and 2 and confined space certifications with the Anoka County Specialized Rescue Team, which he continues to serve on with Coon Rapids Fire. Matt also served 7 years as an EMT with Alina Ambulance Service. Matt continues to live in Coon Rapids with his wife and looks forward to serving his community for many more years to come. Firefighter Hool, please step forward to take the oath of office for the formal pinning of your badge number 88. I would like to introduce Matt's wife, Lexi, as the person he selected to pin on his badge. Matt, congratulations and welcome to Coon Rapids Fire.
That's quite the stash you got there.
Takes time.
Please raise your right hand. I, Matt Hool, do solemnly swear
I, Matt Hool, do solemnly swear
that I will support the policies and procedures
that I will support the policies and the procedures
of the Coon Rapids Fire Department.
of the Coon Rapids Fire Department.
I will faithfully, honorably,
I will faithfully, honorably,
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
protect the safety and lives
protect the safety and lives
of my fellow firefighters
of my fellow firefighters
and citizens whose care has been entrusted to me.
and citizens whose care has been entrusted to me.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right, Chief.
Next, I'd like to introduce firefighter Ryan Specken, badge number 89. Ryan grew up in Plymouth and graduated from Wayzata High School. As a senior, he got his EMT certification, and shortly after graduating in 2012, he joined the Minnetonka Fire Department as a part-time, paid-on-call firefighter alongside his dad. During these years, he received certifications in firefighter 1 and 2, fire apparatus operator, hazmat operations, fire instructor 1, and took many other classes to further his firefighting knowledge. In 2017, he was promoted to serve as a lieutenant with the Minnetonka Fire Department. He also began working as an EMT in the emergency department at St. Francis Regional Medical Center in Shakopee that same year. In 2022, he joined the Hopkins Fire Department as a duty crew firefighter and served under his uncle, the fire chief. Ryan comes from a family of service with both his parents, several uncles and cousins, and a grandpa serving as firefighters, police, and paramedics before him. He has been engaged to his fiancée, Nicole, since August of '23, and they are expecting a son in April. Ryan, please come forward to take your oath of office and the formal pinning of your badge number 89. With that, I would like to introduce Ryan's fiancée, Nicole, as the person he selected to pin on his badge.
All right. All right. Please raise your right hand. I, Ryan Specken, do solemnly swear
I, Ryan Specken, do solemnly swear
that I will support the policies and procedures
that I will support the policies and procedures
of the Coon Rapids Fire Department.
of the Coon Rapids Fire Department.
I will faithfully, honorably,
I will faithfully, honorably,
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
protect the safety and lives of my fellow firefighters
protect the safety and lives of my fellow firefighters
and citizens
and citizens
whose care has been entrusted to me,
whose care has been entrusted to me.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Good, okay. Chad, Matt, and Ryan. It will be all three of your duties to respond whenever called. Your chiefs, your crew, and the community rely on your abilities and professionalism in the performance of your role as firefighter. I know you'll provide many excellent years of service to the city. Thank you. We are excited to bring your talents and passion for this community into our organization.
All right, can we applaud now for them?
Of course. Of course. Okay, last, I would like to recognize the promotion of Andy Peiser to B-Shift Fire Inspector. Fire inspectors are part of the fire prevention team and work under the direct supervision of the fire marshal. In addition to their firefighting duties, our shift inspectors perform inspections to identify fire hazards and ensure compliance with fire, housing, zoning, and related codes, and issue orders of corrections as needed. You'll also see them in the elementary schools presenting our fire prevention message during Fire Prevention Week in October. Andy joined the Coon Rapids Fire Department in 2011 as a paid on-call firefighter and was promoted to career firefighter in 2015. Andy has a degree in fire science. He is very involved with the volunteer work the fire department does and is active in community service. He currently runs our Fill the Boot program, which raises money for kids with muscular dystrophy. You've probably seen him on the corner of Main Street and Northdale collecting money for MDA. He is also in charge of Operation Warm, which provides local kids with winter coats, hats, and mittens. He is also an International Association of Firefighters certified peer fitness trainer, which he uses to advance fitness in the fire service. Andy lives with his wife Barb and his two kids, Alan and Beatrice. Andy, please come forward to take your oath of office and the formal pinning of your inspector's badge. Andy's wife Barb will be doing the honor.
Hi, Andy. You go to John Fix Barber? Is that what you do? All right, please raise your right hand. I, Andy Peisert, do solemnly swear
I, Andy Peiser, do solemnly swear
that I will support the policies and procedures
that I will support the policies and procedures
of the Coon Rapids Fire Department.
of the Coon Rapids Fire Department.
I will faithfully, honorably,
I will faithfully, honorably,
and to the best of my ability
and to the best of my ability
discharge the duties of fire inspector
discharge the duties of fire inspector
and protect the safety and lives
and protect the safety and lives
of my fellow firefighters
of my fellow firefighters
and citizens whose care has been entrusted to me.
and citizens whose care has been entrusted to me.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Two lefties, or didn't notice that, yeah. Yeah.
Mayor, council members, I appreciate this opportunity to recognize these four men, as well as their accomplishments and dedication to this department and the Coon Rapids community. This concludes our promotional ceremony. Friends and family are welcome to meet out in the hall for some photo opportunities, but per the mayor, you're welcome to stay for the entire council meeting if you want. With that said, thank you for coming and your show of support.
Thank you, everyone.
One of these days, John's just gonna say, you know what? Everybody stay for like 2 minutes,
Yeah,
just to freak everybody out.
Now we'll give everybody a moment to leave.
She hasn't been here for a few.
going on?
Gonna have to give her a call.
All right. Next on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Novak.
Move to approve the minutes?
second?
All right, so a motion by Novak and a second by Carlson to approve the minutes from the March 4th, 2024 meeting. Is there any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, and that motion, or those minutes are approved. We have two items on our consent agenda, and I must say I'm very excited about these items.
Me too.
Yeah. The first one, we have an application for an on-sale liquor, Sunday liquor, 2 a.m. and tavern licensing for Jelly Bean and Julia's located at 2501 Coon Rapids Boulevard. And then that has been submitted by Corey Swap and Nicole Feitenswap. The license and investigation fees have been paid. The police department is conducting the background investigation as required by the city code. Approval of the license will be contingent upon the successful background investigation, issuance of a certificate of occupancy, Anoka County Environmental Services issuing a food service license, and the submittal of a certificate of insurance evidencing liquor liability and workers' compensation coverage, along with approval from the Minnesota Department of Public Safety Alcohol and Gambling Enforcement Division. So we are looking to, and I actually, there we go. We're looking to approve issuance of a full on-sale liquor, Sunday liquor, 2 a.m. and tavern licenses to Jelly Bean and Julia's Incorporated, doing business as Jelly Bean and Julia's Barbecue, located at 2501 Coon Rapids Boulevard Northwest, contingent upon the completion of a successful background investigation, the issuance of a certificate of occupancy by the chief building official, Anoka County Environmental Services issuing a food service license, and submittal of a certificate of insurance evidencing liquor liability and workers' compensation coverage, along with approval from the Minnesota Department of Public Safety Alcohol and Gambling Enforcement Division. So that's first item, that's item 3 on tonight's agenda. The second item on our consent agenda is we've received being asked to adopt Resolution 24-41, a resolution concurring with the issuance of a gambling premises permit for the Competition Cheers Spirit Booster Club at Jelly Bean and Julia's Barbecue, 2501 Coon Rapids Boulevard Northwest. We've received a lawful gambling premises permit application, and the Competition Cheer Booster Club currently operates at 2 locations, the Barrel House Bar and Cafe and Carboni's Coon Rapids, or CR Billiards. State charitable gambling law requires premises permits for gambling activities be approved or denied by the City Council, and we are looking to approve and adopt Resolution 24-41, a resolution concurring with issuance of a gambling premises permit for the Competition Cheers Spirit Booster Club at Jelly Bean and Julia's Barbecue, 2501 Coon Rapids Boulevard Northwest. And that is our complete consent agenda.
Mayor?
Councilmember Geisler.
I will move the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Geisler and a second by Novak. Is there any questions or discussion on the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Geisler?
I think we're just excited to learn and that this is part of the process, and we'll be watching Facebook, we'll be watching the signs to see when there's going to be an opening date. And I think I've been to the location in Anoka, and it's fabulous, so look forward to having them in the city.
I think they're getting very close. Have you stopped in there lately, Mr. Councilmember Carlson?
I haven't been in there, no, just creeping along Coon Rapids Boulevard.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Novak?
that's actually Ward 3, so I will be seeing you guys a lot. Yeah, we're real excited to have you guys come over. I think it's a real coup for the city of Coon Rapids. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Carlson?
I just want to thank Corey and Nicole for coming to Coon Rapids. I know it's a huge loss to Anoka, but needed to expand, and it was nice to have a bar, and we're just so darn happy to have you here. And I swear half of Coon Rapids is already excited to have you here as well.
Yeah.
So we wish you just nothing but success, and I will start stopping by me to peek on the inside. I will just peer in the windows. I'll actually go rap on the door. We're excited to have you. We want to thank you so much for coming to Coon Rapids.
Do you have an idea yet as a date? And if you do, I would welcome you up to the mic to introduce yourself and tell us. If otherwise, that's fine. Awesome, thank you. Just introduce yourself and,
Fight and Swap. And we did get our food license, so we're hoping to have a super soft opening on Thursday.
Nice.
I know.
super soft.
Super soft, yeah.
It might have just
We don't
gotten a
have any
little.
barbecue. There's no barbecue yet. The smoker's coming from Texas, and they'll
Okay.
be here in April, and then the bar will not be there until everything is fine. But we'll just have sodas and burgers and wings and fries and all of our sides. So Thursday, we're thinking. And breakfast, yes, and
No
breakfast.
kidding.
Okay.
And then then we'll stock the bar and everything as soon as we're able to, so,
That's awesome. We are
We gotta
we are
keep our
so
staff.
we are so excited.
thank you. I am very excited to be here.
I've been around long enough that I remember when that was Mr. Steak, and that was
Yeah.
the real last,
Yeah.
really solid operation. You know?
Yes,
So,
yes. We're very excited. We want to do that building justice, so we're
Nice.
very happy to be here. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you.
Councilmember Carlson.
Nicole, what time will you be opening at Thursday?
Probably around 11.
How
Yeah.
soft do you want this?
Pretty soft.
Pretty soft?
Pretty soft. Maybe like, I don't know if you're going to put it on Facebook, but
I will not put it on Facebook.
if you do, maybe next week. I don't know. No, do whatever.
You let
No.
me know when you want it on Facebook.
It is what it is.
Oh, right.
It's going to happen, so, yeah.
We're just gonna put up a sign on the front door that says no barbecue and no booze.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's going to be like
Fair enough.
burgers and wings.
All right.
So, yeah.
nice to set expectations right away.
I know. You know what? I'm thinking they can, come in and get everything they want, so, yeah.
Awesome.
I'm also a lifelong Coon Rapids resident. Raised but not born, graduated in 1995, not 2012 like the firefighter.
Go Big Red.
So I kind of feel like I'm old enough to be their dad at this point. But we just barely live in Anoka. Don't hold it against us.
We're cool.
I live about a mile from the house that I grew up in, next to Mercy Hospital. So always been close to Coon Rapids or Coon Rapids adjacent for 40 years now. So
Yeah, well, we're
glad
excited.
to be here. We
We're
can't
excited
wait.
you're bringing the business in. Thank you so much. Okay, well, we have a motion and a second. We might as well, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? It wasn't even close. Thank you so much. All right, item 5 is to consider resolution 24-42, 24-43, and 24-44, approving miscellaneous 2024-1 assessment levies. Ashley Hanson. It's like, this is all you tonight, just about every one of these things, so go ahead.
Almost. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So following the hearing that must take place, the council is asked to approve the assessment levy for unopposed miscellaneous specials. As of 4:30, we have had 6 appeals that will be forwarded to the Board of Adjustment and Appeals in May, and total amount to be approved tonight is $158,000.
Very good. After so let's see now, so we're going to be holding an assessment hearing to collect written appeals, correct? All right. Does anybody have any questions before we hold the assessment hearing? I'm really not anticipating much, unless staff has a letter. But we will, if nobody has any questions, we will go ahead and open the assessment hearing to collect written appeals. Anybody here for the assessment hearing for written appeals? Do I even have to do it a third time? I think we're probably good, huh? Yeah. All right, so then we will close the assessment hearing for written appeals, and we've got 3 motions, and I assume those can all be taken together? Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Geisler.
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 24-42, adopting the 2024 Sub-1 miscellaneous special assessments unopposed 1 year, and a motion to adopt Resolution 24-43, adopting 2024 Sub-1 miscellaneous special assessments unopposed 3 year, and a motion to adopt Resolution 24-44, adopting the 2024 Sub-1 miscellaneous special assessments unopposed 7 year.
Second.
Motion by Geisler and a second by Carlson. Is there any discussion on this? As a reminder, the Board of Adjustment and Appeals is expected to meet on May 2nd and will make a recommendation to the City Council at the May 21st council meeting. All right. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. And we are up to item 6. Consider Resolution 24-45, reallocating the 2023 general fund budget and amending the 2023 and 2024 budgets. Ms. Hanson, Finance Director.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. City Council, you're asked to consider approval of 2 amendments to the 2023 and 24 general fund budgets. The first of which for 2023 is to reallocate budget appropriation between various activities in the general fund. So at the end of the year, we look at the budgeted amounts versus the actuals and make recommendations to ensure that we're within the level of budgetary control, which is the category level within each activity. So recommended adjustments this evening, net to zero. The second item is to consider carry forwards from 2023 to 2024. So these are for items that were not purchased by the end of the year and are on order or coming, or projects that are not completed. These amount to $35,600 in the general fund and just over $1.5 million in the other funds of the city. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Additionally, there attached to the memo is an unaudited statement of revenues and expenditures for the general fund. So if you have any questions on that, I can certainly answer those.
Very good. Any questions?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Carlson?
make a motion to adopt Resolution 24-45, reallocating the 2023 general fund budget and amending the 2023 and 2024 budgets.
Second.
Motion by Carlson and a second by Armstrong. Is there any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. And the next item, somewhat related, consider Resolution 24-46, authorizing the transfer of funds. Ms. Hanson?
Mr. Mayor, City Council, within the resolution before you is a list of transfers we're requesting approval for fiscal year 2023, some of which were included in the budget, and then there's 2 I wanted to point out from the general fund. One is from the general fund to the water fund, which is $2 million, from funding made available from our American Rescue Plan Act. So this was planned as part of our water tower construction. The second is above our minimum unassigned fund balance level. We have identified money available to transfer to the facility construction fund, the park improvement fund, and the tree boulevard maintenance funds. Now these are funds that either have limited or no funding source. And so we're recommending transfers to those to assist with future projects. Other transfers listed within the other funds of the city, most of which are just closing out street reconstruction projects and debt service funds as planned with our 2023 budget. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Questions?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Griscoviac.
Yes, the first one was pretty straightforward, but I do have a few questions on this one. So the first one for Resolution 2446 is the general fund to the retirement insurance fund of $350,000. That seems like a pretty big one, so I was just wondering if I could get an explanation of why such a large unfunded liability this year.
Councilmember Griscoliak, so that actually amount has been pretty consistent the last few years. So we do get an actuarial analysis done every other year, and then they project out our unfunded other post-employment benefits, so any retiree benefits, and also any implicit rate subsidies for health insurance. So we project out based on, we do have some firefighters and police officers that are eligible to receive a benefit between 55 and 65. So we project those payments out for an extended period of time and then are trying to even out the funding needed so that we're not going to have huge increases or decreases as, so this is a consistent transfer. It's not a.
Yeah, I noticed, so it's a consistent transfer, but why such a large number consistently? I mean, aren't we trying to be like around zero on this?
Why wouldn't we budget it in earlier or something?
Right.
Or- oh.
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
So the other transfer that I don't know if you're thinking about is the compensated absences. That one fluctuates year over year depending on the vacation, sick liabilities. This retiree insurance one, we're projecting out long-term what our liability will be. And so, you know, in a given year, our payments for this may be more than this, but we're just trying to even out that and make sure in the end we're fully funded there.
And Mayor and Council, I should point, this was budgeted for this way.
Right.
This just sort of ends the transaction from one fund to the other. And so we did anticipate an amount in this, in this
Yes.
neighborhood. This is, just cleans that up for year-end purposes.
Correct.
Okay, so that clarifies, thank you for that. And then actually, the same kind of thing on the compensated absences fund, so I won't have to ask on that. But the other one would be then, on the general fund to the facilities construction fund, park improvement and tree boulevard maintenance funds, we're going to be moving $739,000 from the general fund into those funds and to fund, quote, future improvements in those. So are those future improvements included in the 2024 budget, or are those future improvements to be determined, like in 2025 or beyond?
Go ahead.
Do you want to? Okay. So these are projects that are partly identified in '24. So for instance, in the park fund, we have phase 1 of a lighting project that we anticipate the other half to be in '25. And so it's very near-term projects that are in our capital improvement plan.
Mayor, Council, I mean, these dollars aren't specifically assigned yet. It would add to the fund balances in those accounts. And so the 2024 projects within these funds have already been identified and budgeted for. Anything above and beyond that, we'd bring forward to you as part of the 25 process. These particular accounts are just running fairly low from a fund balance perspective relative to the projects we anticipate coming up the next several years. Typically, when we've been allowed to do a transfer, it's been closer to $1 million this year. Last year, we didn't do any, given some of the constraints we had. This year, as you see the number, is about $740,000. We thought, rather than put that into one fund, typically it had been the facilities construction fund, we'd share the wealth, so to speak, because we have a couple of funds that could really use a boost in some capital dollars. But nothing about this action sort of adds to the 2024 budget. It would add to the fund balance on these accounts, and we'll have a different conversation moving forward about how to expend those funds.
Okay. And that was actually kind of my point, and I'm sure you were ready to confirm it, that 2024 is fully budgeted. So we're just going to add to these funds. I was wondering why we're adding to the funds, but you kind of alluded to that some of these fund balances are getting kind of low, and we never know when something's going to break or, unfunded repair or anything like that. Ideally, I'd like to see, extra money in the general fund to go down to pay down the debt. But if we have funds that are insufficient, so to speak, in terms of their balance, then I guess it makes sense to move into those funds as allocated here. So you've answered all the questions I had.
And at no time you mentioned a fire truck.
Well, I know I don't need to right now. As we talk.
Separate conversation.
Yeah. Good point, though.
All right, anybody feel like moving this forward?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Geisler?
make a motion to adopt Resolution 24-46, authorizing the transfer of funds for 2023.
Second.
Motion by Geisler, second by Armstrong. Is there any further discussion on this?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Griscoviac?
just one point. I know that some of this allocation of fund is actually to pay down some debt. Did you want to speak to that at all?
Sure. So, included in these transfers are funds from, bond funds or debt service funds where the liability has matured, and so they're closed bond funds. So we purposely use some of those excess dollars to buy down the levy in '24 so that we could keep that lower.
Excellent. Thank you.
Excellent. All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, and that motion carries. And we are on to item 8, and consider, here we go. Consider an agreement between CTN and the St. Paul Saints. Stephanie Ring.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. What we have before you tonight is an agreement for CTN, our local Coon Rapids community television station, to produce the baseball games for the St. Paul Saints. This is an agreement and partnership we've had for many, many years. It helps provide local community programming to about 22 local stations, as well as it is a piece of revenue generation for the television station. As you know, cable funds are going down as people change their entertainment habits and are no longer choosing cable as a resource. CTN is exclusively funded through franchise and PEG fees. So the revenue generation is a part of the pie, as I like to say, and how we keep everything rolling, which goes to help us produce all the great local programming that we do, sports, concerts, entertainment, and may I give a little shout out to the boys basketball team that we will be there tomorrow at 4 o'clock down at Target Center. So this is just one piece of the puzzle, and this is a contract agreement. The only thing that's new this year is it is a 2-year agreement, which gives us as CTN and the St. Paul Saints more solidification of what we can count on for budgeting. It helps both parties involved, and we believe that's a nice improvement as we move forward. So we ask for your recommendation for the agreement for 2024 and 2025. If you have any other questions, I can answer.
All right. Do we know how many years we've been doing this? It's a lot. I mean,
Since 2007, with a break of just a couple years in there.
okay, very good. Anybody have any questions of Ms. Ring? All right.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Carlson?
make a motion to approve the attached agreement for CTN production services of St. Paul Saints baseball with broadcast charges of $4,200 per game in 2024 and $4,500 per game in 2025, and community televised games, $3,100 per game in 2024 and $3,400 per game in 2025.
Second.
Motion by Carlson and a second by Geisler. Is there a discussion on this?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Carlson?
I just want to point out how much I appreciate CTN doing this to bring in some revenue to help with all the great program that we have. And I also just want a shout out to CTN. My gosh, how professional. What a great broadcast. Everything they do is just so professional, and just great appreciation for the work that CTN does.
Yeah, it's impressive that, I mean, the thinking outside of the box to get the extra revenue coming through so we can have the really nice equipment, the nice trucks. That's just, yeah, state of the art, and we really appreciate that. All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, and that motion carries. And we are up to open mic, and I'm thinking that's going to go the way of the assessment hearing. Yeah. So, and I don't have any reports on previous open mics, and we are up to other business. And as Stephanie Ring mentioned, we wish the Coon Rapids High School boys basketball team all the best in the state tournament tomorrow, Wednesday, March 20th at Target Center. The Cardinals will face Minnetonka in the Class 4A quarterfinal at 4 p.m. CTN Coon Rapids will cover the game, not live, for playback starting Wednesday at midnight. I believe it is live on Channel 45, or you can watch it streaming on, I don't remember. They've got a thing on the Minnesota State High School League website. And this is a big one for all of us Coon Rapids alums up here. This is only the second time in school history that the Coon Rapids High School boys basketball team has made it to state, and the first time since 1983, so 41 years. Go Cardinals, and we are all rooting for you. Or as John Pena would say, it's a great day to be a Cardinal. You know it.
Go Big Red.
That's right. What do we got for other business?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Armstrong.
just bringing to everybody's attention, I'm sure a majority of us have seen the little elevation of conversation with regard to Jensen's at Northdale Shopping Center. Just to kind of bring everybody up to speed, I have talked to Jennifer and I have talked to Corbin over at Jensen's. Yes, they are moving to Champlin. They're looking at opening up in May. That being said, Scoops and Encore are not going anywhere. They're still there, still in business. Support them. I would strongly encourage you to stop by Jensen's and thank them for the many, many years they've been here. From the time Mr. Jensen started it to Corbin and Jennifer and the boys today. They're right in my neighborhood. I'm probably going to lose about 25 pounds when they leave because they've got a phenomenal bakery, deli, et cetera. They're going to still have the bakery, the deli, some kind of a coffee set up over there in Champlin. So give them our support over there. The property owners there, it is private property, so the property owners are trying to figure out what they're going to do with the property. There's nothing going on at this point, and it's their property to do with what they want and discuss it with the city where they need our help. So.
Yep, and anything that goes in there, they will be coming to us for direction and for approvals. We've only so far, I think, seen one proposed plan, and it seemed like it was summarily shot down. So I don't think you're going to see a large apartment there. You know, that seems to be the biggest fear of the neighborhood, and that's not on the table as far as, I don't know how that would work out.
Yep.
But,
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to miss their bakery.
Yep. Yep.
And I know we've got at least a few cops that are going to miss that roasted chicken.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yep. All right.
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. Councilmember Carlson?
First of all, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for not mentioning the bakery donuts when you're talking about the police. Appreciate that, I'm sure. And Mr. Mayor, I believe that 83 team was, Tom Kopa was on that team, one of the very few professional athletes to come out of Coon Rapids. I think he's probably the first professional basketball player that we ever produced out of the school. I'd like to move on a little bit with some sad news. A wonderful resident has passed away recently, Doris Schulte. Doris was and Mr. Mayor, you probably know Doris a lot better than I did, but longtime realtor in Coon Rapids, and actually her and her husband Mel helped found Epiphany Church, but also Mercy Hospital.
Yeah, they were charter families at Epiphany, and I think that they were part of the group that was instrumental in bringing Mercy into the town.
Great folks, and Doris should be widely known for all the work that she did with the Keep the Wheels Turning program, raising millions of dollars for Haiti, freshwater, schools, orphanages, and women's shelters in Haiti. Just was real instrumental with her energy and her kindness, raising a lot of money for Haiti over the years. And just, she truly made Coon Rapids better.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, they were active in the Coon Rapids Rotary Club and many organizations around town. And then she was somebody that lived through cancer in 1989 that normally kills everybody, that small cell lung cancer, and attributed to a miracle, was on the Oprah show for being healed. And so, yeah, but, yep, her funeral was Saturday, so. All right, other business for council.
Mr. Mayor
Councilmember
and council,
Briscoe.
actually,
just wondering, there's some proposed legislation at the state level, and I'm just wondering how does the city want to maybe take a stand on this? There's some legislation looking to preempt our ability to do local zoning, so it's going to affect our ability for planning and things like that. I know that there's a lot of other cities that want to retain their own local control for these things, and
Like all of them.
like all of them. And I was going to mention that the national, Minnesota League of Cities is looking at this too. But what can the city do to, other than, residents contacting their legislatures? Does the city want to take a formal opinion on this with a letter or anything like that? Or does the council want to discuss this at a workshop? I've got some questions coming from residents.
Yeah, well, we'll be down there tomorrow with the North Metro mayors. And this is a year where if it weren't for bad ideas, there would be no ideas out of that legislature. It's terrible. And this isn't the only one that's going after the city. And
There's been, Mayor Council, there's been a number of preemption proposals ranging from parking to housing to a number of other things that certain League of Cities, Metro Cities, North Metro mayors are paying very close attention to. I know from a staff level, Mr. Brown and I have communicated to our legislators some of the concerns from that perspective. Certainly, I think there's a lot of influence in elected officials contacting each other to say, here's the concerns of our community, especially with some of the more draconian provisions of the housing bill that are out there right now. Some of them are very concerning. We will be down at the Capitol tomorrow to have a North Metro Mayor's Board meeting, which also includes some small group meetings with the legislators, and the North Metro Mayor's has a letter prepared to give to the legislators tomorrow to share the concerns from that organization's perspective. So, I think those are the things that we can do and should do very soon.
Sure.
Because these things are in committee, they're moving along, they start to get steam and they're hard to stop. In this case with the housing bill, there may be enough momentum there to get something done, so it's really a matter of probably limiting some of the damage that could occur to cities should it go through. And I know those partner agencies that you spoke of are working very diligently to try to remove some of the more concerning aspects of all those bills. So, we're doing some of that work. Council hasn't necessarily had a full-blown conversation about it. We've shared some information about what's going on and that sort of thing. So, I guess I would take cues from you all, how hard you want me to push from my perspective and represent. I haven't represented a council position because you haven't had that conversation. It's been more, professional opinion about some of the concerns we have in the bills that are being put forward.
All right. Well, thanks for going down to the state and championing this for us and trying to get some information for us. The information that you do collect, if you could share that with council, that'd be outstanding for me.
Yeah, and we're fortunate in that none of our local legislators are driving the worst of this stuff. But it is unusual. It's like a state rep that represents Woodbury, and one that represents Savage and Burnsville, and you're going, why are you on this? Your communities must just be livid about this. So
It does seem kind of odd. I mean, when you talk about elected positions and things like that, it really all does start local. Like us on the city council here, we're representing our neighborhoods. Our neighborhoods are telling us they want to have the control to zone in their own city and have that control. And then all of the cities are saying no to this, but yet our legislatures, it's on the agenda. It's baffling.
It is baffling.
So I just appreciate letting me have a second on that, and I want to make sure that our council is aware and in front of it.
If the league has a city, or if the one from the North Metro Mayors looks appropriate, maybe it would be something to send out to us, and maybe we would want to sign off on it as a council.
Yeah.
Your Honor?
Councilmember Novak?
Mr. Brody, I'm just curious. If this were to go through, the worst of what we might fear, is there anything that can be done from a legal perspective as a city to get this into the court and say, no, this is our authority to do this? I mean, I'm not familiar enough with the Minnesota.
Too early to know how it's going to
I would say that's.
I don't like to speculate, so I'll go with Matt. Just gave me the answer. It depends. It will depend. And,
that's kind of what I
guessing,
figured.
The state does have a lot of authority, and so I would think we may have an uphill battle, but I wouldn't want to speculate until we actually see, if anything, and what does get passed.
See what gets down on writing. Okay.
Thank you. Chief Steiner, are you happy with how the SRO legislation is being resolved down there?
I thought you might mention that.
As long as we're on it, you know.
Yes, generally speaking, law enforcement is supportive of it. It gives us there's a few more stipulations in the law, but it's all stuff that we can live with. And we're happy that it got fixed. And we have one more hurdle, a post-mandated policy that will come out. So we're kind of waiting to see what that looks like. And then we're working with the city attorney's office and the school district to bring our MOU up a few tweaks that are be required by statute. But generally speaking, most of the organizations are behind it, the MPPOA and I think LELS maybe too, but I don't know if I'm 100% sure of that. But we're pretty happy.
Very good. Thank you. I
Back
didn't
and
put you
have
on
it
the
resolved.
spot, but.
That's okay.
Thank you.
No, we appreciate you working through that, Chief.
All right. Any other business to come before council? Anywhere? Okay.
Second.
Motion by Carlson to adjourn, seconded by Griscoviac. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. We're adjourned.